Alright, David Harry here, and in this video I'm going to be showing you these three cases for the up and coming iPhone 16 Pro Max, and these were sent to me from my good friends over at Benks. Now before I go any further, you're probably thinking to yourself, hold on a minute, Dave, you definitely don't have an iPhone 16 Pro Max, so how can you effectively demonstrate these cases? Well, whilst that is true, the thing that these cases are going to allow me to do is to show you two very important things. The first thing is that the rumour about this extra new button for the iPhone 16 Pro Max and presumably the Pro as well is actually a true rumour, and these cases will prove that. I will show you that in a second. And also there's one other thing that these cases will show, and I'm not too sure whether I actually knew that this was a thing, but the iPhone 16 Pro Max is actually going to be slightly bigger than the iPhone 15 Pro Max, so let me show you. Now, although this is not strictly a review video for these cases, I will however just quickly show you them because these truly are very nice cases. So as we can see here, these are the backs of the cases that we're looking at, and as far as I'm concerned, these two here have got very striking colours, although if push comes to shove, this one's probably my favourite because it's black. Anyway, as we can also see here, there is a patterning within the cases, and that is because these are made of Kevlar. Now, just quickly looking at the inside of the cases, and as we should be able to see here on the bottom of all the cases, it says built with DuPont Kevlar, and as we can clearly see as well, the patterning is also right the way through the case as it was on the front, and also as well, these two still actually look really nice on the inside as well. Now, there's also one other thing to mention here, and that is all three of these cases are MagSafe compatible as well. And on that point of MagSafe compatibility, I've also got this super slim 5000 milliamp hour battery by Benks here, which is MagSafe. So if I just pop that onto the case, as we can see there, that just sticks on great. In fact, if I just wiggle it around like that, as we can see, that's going nowhere. Now, moving on to the 2 points to be made in this video, and the first one being that rumour that's been around for a while about there being a new button on the iPhone 16 Pro Max. And as we can clearly see here on the bottom half of the case, there is a cutout here, which is obviously to give access to that new button. Now, from what the rumours have been saying, that new button is going to be some kind of multi-function button, primarily I think for the camera, so a shutter button and maybe like a double tap for things like, say, focus and stuff like that. But nonetheless, no matter what that button is for, this case clearly shows that there is a cutout here designed specifically for that new button. And once again, this case also shows a very clear cutout for the new button. Now, I'm not normally one for looking too deep into these rumours. However, that rumour that's been knocking around for some while has definitely been true. Now, just to show you that the iPhone 16 Pro Max is definitely going to be a very slightly bigger phone than the iPhone 15 Pro Max, I've put my 15 Pro Max inside one of the cases here. Now, the first thing that I'm going to do is just show you some of the similarities. So first of all, on this side of the case, this is where we have got the push through for the lock button and also the push throughs here for the up and down volumes, and I will show you these again in a second on the phone because these do line up perfectly with the 15 Pro Max. And then obviously this push through here is for the power button on the 16 Pro Max, and I will show you again in a second that this perfectly lines up with the 15 Pro Max. However, I think we'll get a better idea here now of the actual cutout in the case for the extra new button on the 16 Pro Max, because obviously as we can see here, that's just popping through to bare titanium on the 15 Pro Max. So just back onto the front here, and what I will do is to show you that where these push through buttons are on the 16 Pro Max case, they basically do align up to the same buttons on the 15 Pro Max. So the first one is the lock button up here. So if I just push on that push through there, as we can see, the lock button is actually engaging there. And then if I use the up and down button push throughs here for the volume, as we can see, that's activating the volume buttons on the 15 Pro Max. And then obviously the push through on this side for the power button, that too lines up perfectly with the 15 Pro Max. Now what I'm going to do here is just to show you that the 16 Pro Max is indeed slightly bigger than the 15 Pro Max. I think it might just be slightly taller, because width-wise in the case, this case does seem to fit the 15 Pro Max quite well. However, it's a bit squishy just here, but that's actually where the cutout is on the case for the new button on the 16 Pro Max. However, if I place the phone in a different orientation, actually give me a moment. So if we look at it from this angle here, we should be able to see that there's a bit of a distance from the case to where the actual USB-C port is there, and also the speaker and microphone grills. And in fact, if I get this card here, right, if I just slide it into there, as we can see, that card, or this little tiny manual, is basically fitting very comfortably right the way through the bottom of the case there. So that's definitely indicating that there is a considerable gap there between the bottom of the iPhone 15 Pro Max and also the bottom of the case there. Actually, this is probably a better way to see that slight size difference. So what I've got here then are the Benks Aurora Armor Air cases, obviously one for the 15 Pro Max and one for the 16 Pro Max. Now, if I place them on their sides next to each other, I think maybe width-wise they're probably the same. However, if I stand them up, as we can see here on the right hand side, this case is definitely slightly taller, and that is the case for the 16 Pro Max. Okay, so whilst what I've just shown you there isn't particularly groundbreaking or anything, and it's obviously slightly old news to a point, what I've actually been able to do here is to prove those 2 points. So hopefully that has been useful to some people out there who may be looking forward to the iPhone 16 Pro Max. Now on that point, I will obviously be doing videos about these 3 cases when I get my iPhone 16 Pro Max, so keep an eye out on the channel for that. I have also got a whole bunch of other Benks stuff for the iPhone 15 and also the M4 iPad Pro, so keep an eye out for those videos if you are interested in those things. And finally as well, I have a discount code for the Benks website, which is David15, and that particular discount code will get you 15% off site-wide, basically anything on the Benks website. Anyway, thank you very much to Benks for sending me these in advance of the iPhone 16 Pro Max release. If you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up. A sub to the channel would be absolutely amazing. I'm David Harry. Thank you very much for watching this video. Take care and goodbye now.